well is helpful. My book has been describing the raw materials of cotton from India and the southern states of America and Egypt. And as part of that, you kind of told people who were making goods not only for the home market but for the empire, that for export to colonized countries around the empire, that what they were doing was keeping the empire going, keeping Britain great. They were the best workers in the world. They were giving this products out to different parts of the globe because of Britain having this kind of massive imperial role. And then over a number of decades, that imperial role disappears because of the welcome independence of the former colonized countries. The jobs disappear because of the deindustrialization that affected cotton and then more generally the manufacturing industry. Kind of unstable mix of hurt, resentment, and a searching for explanation, which makes use of some of the fragments of understanding about the way the world works that have been built up over those decades. I mean, that's a very kind of summary description of some of the themes that I explore in the book's chapter called What We Learned in the Weaver's Triangle. But the argument is that these attitudes have not simply resulted from a very kind of sudden kind of misleading of people through the Daily Mail or Nigel Farage in relation to very recent issues.
A pivot towards community organising on a kind of very basic level, and something that Labour had kind of abandoned. I suppose, assuming that they were unassailable in Burnley, I suppose. Do you think part of the BNP's success can be attributed to this kind of attempt to rebuild a sense of community within these white areas?
Yes. In the late 1990s and the early 2000s, they were recruiting ordinary people who hadn't been involved in politics before. The BNP weren't particularly pushing their kind of ideology or their kind of racist attitudes. They were saying, we're the local people that are working hard for this area. The Labour Party are interested in that lot over there, i.e. the Asian immigrant community. We don't want to talk about that. We just want to help you clean up your gardens or organise a local five-a-side football team. It was pavement politics, or like community politics of a classic kind, but they were the ones who were with the kind of energy and the motivation to do it at a time where, as you say, there was a result of complacency or tiredness, not in the Labour Party, but the mainstream parties weren't doing that. And that for a very short period of time, actually just for a few years, led to a sense of real momentum on the part of the BNP. What that showed us that they were connecting to an opportunity that was there, that if any political actor would come along, local political activists or local political parties, and actually just kind of get alongside local people at a grassroots level and do helpful, practical things, that would help build connections. That were obviously what they were doing, and this connects back to the question that was raised earlier, is filtering into that activity this divisive resentment that was the shape of their politics. Of course, it's equally possible to do such positive grassroots activity and feed into that the politics of kind of solidarity and alliance building, as would be appropriate from the left. I think one of the things that's worth commenting on in relation to that period of community activism by the BNP people is that it absolutely, totally wrong-footed traditional anti-fascist campaigners, because at the same time that the BNP were organising litter picks and sponsoring local football teams, and were recruiting people who worked in the local health centre or corner shop, or the woman who'd been a union activist in the local car parts factory. The Anti-Nazi League were putting out anti-fascist literature, calling these people Nazis, saying that they were stood their opponents' different point of view, if you want to put it that way. And